Jake Tapper on with Megyn Kelly. Watch this.
But you covered the Biden presidency aggressively throughout the 4 years, and you didn't cover mental acuity hardly at all. I mean, time and time again, when issues came up, you seem to be running cover for the president.
I don't think
interested.
That's true.
Well, I mean, we'll start with the Laura Trump issue that you referred. Here it is. This happened in 2020.
Joe Biden, as we all know, has worked to overcome a stutter. How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
you are
to watch
no
somebody on stage search for
that's so
questions.
amazing.
You're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you
stuttering.
were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline.
And it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay.
That is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel
Laura
sorry
Trump.
for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it. I'm sure it was from a place of concern. We all believe that. Laura.
You hear how he's just talking down to her. The disrespect, the way that he is disrespecting her and talking down to her.
Trump, thank you so much.
Do you want to apologize to Laura Trump now?
I've already apologized to her. I called her months ago.
And what did she say?
I mean, I don't want to disclose the contents of a private conversation, but I thought the conversation went well. And she has said this publicly, so I feel fine sharing it. She said that she would never mock anybody's stutter. But I mean, after we did the research for this book and I realized how bad his acuity issues were, I called Laura Trump and I said, you were right.
She was totally right.
This is so frustrating. I'm so glad that Megyn Kelly called him out, because we got Joe Scarborough here.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. So I said that this was Biden at his best.
Sure.
That's what I saw. That's what other people saw. I was obviously wrong. So I'm not sure what my takeaway is here.
Dude, so this clown was on and got questioned about it right here. I got to say, dude, I want you to help keep up with how many times Joe Scarborough mentions Donald Trump's name on a question about Joe Biden and the things he said about Joe Biden. Count how many times he mentions the name Donald Trump in this answer. And holy shit, you want to talk about somebody that's just spinning his wheels? It is crazy.
Looking back at that, do you say, well, it was misleading to say best Biden ever without caveating it and say, except on the days when he's not the best Biden ever?
Well, but I never saw those days personally.
Well, you did because you saw him address a dead congresswoman, and you saw him in South Carolina.
A dead congresswoman, yeah.
Yeah, well, more than that. I can show you the RNC clip reels. There were plenty of days in public when he was not the best Biden ever, and of course, shortly after,
he stumbled and bumbled around. Mark, I mean, yeah, he certainly did. Donald Trump did. Other politicians did. It's actually the same case as a lot of times when I've gone in and talked to Donald Trump. We've gone to Donald Trump, and I've heard the media narrative around Donald Trump, and certainly I've been very critical of Donald Trump. And when I leave, I have a better understanding, just like Jeffrey Goldberg did a couple of weeks ago, I have a better understanding of where Donald Trump is mentally. If Donald Trump is losing it, like people have said through the years or not. And so again,
he said Trump's name like 7 times. And in the first minute, it was about Joe Biden. It was about Joe Biden. And he said Donald Trump Like 7 times.
Am I going to look at a clip that's gone viral and pay more attention to that than 2.5, 3 hours I had with a guy one-on-one going around the world? No, I'm just not going to. Are some of the clips bad? Yeah, they certainly are bad. I can understand why people would see that without the context and say that there was a problem with that, especially because I said start rolling your tape right here. It's like but when I look at that,
dude, this guy gets paid to talk for a living and he can't even complete a coherent sentence right now because he is so flustered. Just like Obama and just like 95% of the people in the media, if he doesn't have his notes right in front of him, he cannot talk. He cannot talk. This is why I say, like, these people can't do. I'm not saying I have a hard job, okay? Because I don't. Streaming is the easiest gig in the world. It's not a real job, okay? But what it does need is you do need to have some authenticity. You actually have to know what you're talking about to an extent, or be willing to say, I don't know. Like, I don't know. We'll just have some Yugoslavia or something. I don't fucking know. If just be honest with your audience. That's all you have to be. This guy has said nothing in a minute and a half except for Donald Trump's name like 7 times.
Tape, based on what I saw with Biden, based on the time that I spent with Biden, based on the hundreds of hours that I talked to people who talked to Biden and people that worked with Biden, and were with him day in and day out, good friends that I know, that I trusted before Biden was president, that I trust now that Biden's not president. I mean, put in the proper context, I'm just not going to freak out and melt down on 1 or 2 clips here or there. And again, he bumbled around and he stumbled around, but he has for quite some time. That didn't seem to me to get in the way of Joe Biden being able to analyze the most important issues. And I certainly think he has a better grasp on it than probably the overwhelming majority of his critics, or certainly did when I spoke with him. But again, the question is, who is somebody else running the government for him? Is he incapable of running meetings?
No,
I've never talked to anybody that has said Joe Biden's not capable of running meetings. The complaint that I've heard, not only from, and I hope people are still listening to me because it is important.
Dude, you lost people the moment you said Donald Trump's name like 7 times within like a 30-second time frame. At that point, it was over for you. Like, now we're just memeing and laughing at you at this point.
The only complaints I've heard about Biden internally was that he was angry. He would often get angry, and that it was basically his way or the highway. He would listen to other people, but the Afghanistan issue is a perfect example. He had everybody, from Mark Milley, every general, everybody saying, don't get out of Afghanistan. But, it was, I think at times it would have been good for him to yield a little bit more to some of his advisors than he did. That's one thing. The second thing is, again, this is multi-layered. I talked to a good friend that I had in the French delegation when they had tough negotiations. I think it was right after the state dinner, the French state dinner, before the state dinner. And they
I can't take it no more. It's almost over anyway. You will continue to see people in the media get exposed, and they are going to fluster just like this when they are asked about it. To Jake Tapper's credit, at least he was calm, cool, and collected when he was getting grilled by Megyn Kelly. Joe Scarborough is not even getting grilled, and he couldn't handle it. Like, holy shit, man. Like, Scarborough was flustered big time, and that was a more friendly conversation that he was having, and he couldn't handle it. These guys are going to continue to be exposed, and they are on, these guys right now, they are on the Titanic, and it is sinking, and their TDS won't allow them to understand what's happening, and they're just sitting there, and they're going to go down with the Titanic. And I say let them, because that's exactly what's happening right now. Their TDS is so bad that they cannot even understand what's happening. Let them sit there and go down with the Titanic, because they are in trouble.